5, and tonight their theater is presenting The Women of Lockerbie, followed by the Austin College Improv Troupe. It is my pleasure to welcome you to the last official event of the official presentation of the conference. About Brianne, since she has many fascinating things to say about her time here, I just want to say what a pleasure it has been to work with her these past 4 years and to watch her growth and see all the things she has set up for herself going to the future. I think she exemplifies for me very much the AC Liberal Arts mission, and I won't say any more than that, but let her take it from there. So I present Brianne's piano in the balance at AC. Thank you.
My name is Brianne Say. I know a good amount of you guys here, so you guys will just learn a little bit more about me. For those of you who have not been to Craig Hall, this is Craig Hall. I spend a lot of time here. Lots of performances, rehearsals, classes. I take a lot of classes here, and lots of practice hours. Right upstairs on the second floor, there's those little practice rooms. They got a little piano in each one. I've tested out all the pianos. I know which one's the best one, but I spend a lot of time there. I have a little keyboard back at my body, but nothing compares to an actual piano. So, overall, I spend a lot of time here. So I'm going to give a little elevator speech, a little bit of just a summary about me before I get into things more in depth. Just a few months ago, I finished a ton of grad school interviews, and I had to do these elevator speeches over and over and over. So we'll start with that. So for the people that do not know me at all, that'll just give some bullet point facts about me. So once again, my name is Brianne Say. It's right here. I was born in Plano, Texas, just about an hour down south, quick little drive down on 75. I moved to Sherman, Texas 4 years ago, and to pursue my undergraduate degree. I am majoring in kinesiology with a concentration in exercise science, and I'm triple minoring in biology, psychology, and music. So I just finished my final volleyball season last semester. I played 4 years. I was a captain my final season that just ended. And I'm also one of the vice presidents of Kappa Gamma Chi sorority and one of the vice presidents of the Delta Omicron International Music Fraternity. Outside of all my involvement here, I love to hike. I'm a huge traveler. You check out my Instagram, I have all my pictures there. Super cool, and I love to work out, which I will talk about in a little bit. I'm going to go a little bit more in depth about each one just to give you guys an idea of what these things that I do at AC play in my life. So, Austin College Volleyball, that was the reason why I came to AC. I committed as a senior in high school. They had offered me early on as a sophomore in high school, but that was how I came to know AC. And, sorry, I got a little distracted there. I got into volleyball very early on, probably in 4th grade. I chose volleyball over soccer. Probably shouldn't have based on my height, but it is what it is. It is what it is. I got into volleyball. I stuck with it all throughout my childhood and decided to play volleyball in college because 1, I wanted to stay fit, and 2, I just love the sport. I love the competition. I love the strategy aspect of it. I'm a setter, so that position basically calls the plays, and I'm the part of connecting the back row to the front row, and I really love that aspect, getting to work with every single one of my teammates, getting to know them personally, making that connection with them, and also it's just a way to stay fit, a way to get away from school, because school is probably my main stressor. So volleyball is a way for me to physically get out stress, but also just be with a group of girls that I love, and I've ended up becoming super close with on the court and off the courts. And yeah, overall, it's just made me a happy person, maybe more well-rounded to make connections with my teammates, my coaches, players from other teams, and things like that. Alright, so I am a part of the Kappa Gamma Chi sorority. I have some of my sisters here. They are my best friends, without a doubt. I joined Kappa my freshman year, so early on, found my people. One of my teammates was in Kappa, and my best friend was also wanting to join the sorority. So it just kind of happened like that. And then once I was in it, it's just been the place. These are my people. This is my family away from home, and I truly value my friendships with each and every one of them. And I've enjoyed making that connection. People that I would never have thought to be friends with ever. Joining the sorority, I was like, okay, people that are just different in the best way possible. Don't get me wrong, love them, but it allowed me to make connections with people that I never thought I would actually make a connection with. And these are people that I will rant to. These are people that I will tell everything about. Everything too about. And overall, that's my happy place. That is one of the places I go to relieve stress from all these other things that I do. I'm also part of Delta Omicron Music Fraternity, and I joined this fraternity my sophomore year here, and I was a little hesitant about it. And the reason why is because most people in this fraternity were choir people. And being a pianist, I'm basically alone all the time. I'm in the music room alone. I work with my professor, I work with whatever class I'm in, but I don't really get to interact with other musicians as much as, for example, if I was in choir, or band, or orchestra. That aspect of being a pianist is just, it gives me a very different experience than all of the other musicians in this program. So I decided to join Delta Omicron and got to learn a lot about singers, for sure. And it's been awesome. They're some of my very close friends. And Delta Omicron has also allowed me to perform at Northern and maybe appreciate performing when it's not a formal recital. We do little musicals, like pop musicals, jazz musicals, and it's made me branch out into other things besides just very formal senior or student recitals that they're very, very pressuring. So Delta Omicron has allowed me to enjoy music outside of such a formal classical environment. Okay, so this partially has to do with AC, partially doesn't, but it is a very, very big part of my life. I love to travel. I have traveled to a whole bunch of different countries, love to hike all different state parks in Texas. Me and my mom during COVID, we figured out that let's just go to every single state park that we can in Texas, because what else are we supposed to do when we can't go anywhere besides being outside? So travel to a lot of different places. Hiking has become a huge part of my life to get outside. I love nature, but also it helps me reset. And there's a commonality with this reset in nature that I have with music. I had another point to that. I'm so sorry, guys. But also hiking allows me to stay active, keep me distracted from other things by being active, and that plays into why I got into physical therapy. One more thing, the bottom picture, that's the group that I went to, Argentina. I did a jam term here, and that was a really great experience. I got to meet some of my closest friends that I still keep in touch with. Some of them have graduated, some of them are still here, one is still here. That experience was super nice, getting to experience AC not just in Sherman, Texas, but also in Argentina, which I think is a very valuable experience. So, any of you guys that want to do a jam term, a travel jam term, definitely take that opportunity. It's amazing. Alright, so I'm going to become a physical therapist very soon in a few years. But being active my entire life, being in volleyball, being involved in sports, loving nature and hiking, I got into loving the rehabilitation aspect of healthcare, let me start there. I've always wanted to be in healthcare. I've always enjoyed helping people and doing that. So it just happened that physical therapy just was everything that I wanted. It had the healthcare aspect. I realized I was good at anatomy, and those two things on top of being active led me to find physical therapy. So physical therapy has been my goal since freshman year, and one of the reasons why I came to AC was because everybody knows about the rigorous pre-med track. And I was like, yep, that's it. I get to play volleyball, and I get to get set up for success. So that is what that is. That first picture is just one of the observation places that I did, part of a kinesiology class here. And now I got into University of Texas Medical Branch in Galveston, and that is where I'm going to pursue my doctorate in physical therapy starting in the fall. So. I'll get some money. So that was a whole bunch of other stuff. So obviously we're here for music, as I'm representing the music department. So I'm going to tell you guys a little bit of how I got here, because somehow I'm here. I don't know exactly how. I do know how, but I have been playing piano since I was in 2nd grade. So when I was 7 years old. So I'm 21 now. So it's been a little bit. I've been, the entire time. Now, part of it, for sure, was my parents making me. I think that's how most people get into playing piano at a young age. So it started off like that, and I despise practicing. It's not a given. Practicing takes so much time, so much effort, so much frustration, which I'll get to in a little bit as well. But I pushed past that point. 2nd grade to probably almost to high school. I was really just in it to please my parents, to be honest, It was just, I was just playing to play to have something else. But probably starting high school and especially into college, I really started to appreciate instruments, music in general, and practicing. And that's very much how I was able to play for this long. Music is frustrating. I came here for volleyball. I came here for pre-med. Kind of had the idea that music might be a factor in my time at Austin College, but it was definitely not what I was expecting to this extent. I got in, did my application, got in, was committed to Austin College for volleyball. I realized, oh wow, there's a music scholarship. Maybe I can get some money. Maybe I can help out the little bit expensive tuition that's here. And I decided to audition. Had my audition out at Wind Chapel. Played 2 pieces. It was so nerve-wracking. It was so scary. But did that. Heard back a little bit later that I got the scholarship. Really great. Honestly, at that point, it was like, oh wow, money. Yay! I guess that's cool. Most of the way music scholarship works here, if you're in choir, you get to be in the choir, you have to go practice rehearsals there. Orchestra, you have to do rehearsals there. The pep band, things like that. You're in an ensemble. So for piano, it's a little different, and there's not that many pianists. I only know of 4, including me. So there's not that many people that play piano and also do this scholarship. So when I came, there was another person that was here for the music scholarship that played piano. Her name was Laura. I got to work there, and I'll talk about her in a little bit. But I think John created this class called Music 10, and it's basically accompanying for pianists. So what I had to do in order to fulfill my music scholarship was accompany singers, instrumentalists, and I'll get into that as well. But that is what I had to do for the music scholarship. That was all I was required to do. I didn't think that I was going to pursue a music minor, take applied lessons, get to this point, join a music fraternity. All of that stuff was very unexpected. That was just like the opportunities that AC threw at me. That I was like, you know what? I guess so. Let's try it out. So I had taken AP Music Theory in high school, and that was just for fun. That was, in my opinion, it wasn't a blow-off class, but it was one of those classes that I did for fun, even though it was AP, whatever. I took that for fun. I realized that, okay, that's actually a college credit that's a college credit, and it would be a class that I wouldn't have to take to pursue my music minor. So I was just looking at the music minor like, oh, maybe I could do that. Maybe that's something I could do for fun. My freshman year, I started taking an applied lesson, but I also just did that just for fun. I was like, well, when else am I going to take another college piano lesson from a cool professor, Dan Dominic, super cool. So I was like, let's just do it. So I did that my freshman year and really enjoyed it. So now I have my AP credit, I have a credit for my piano lesson. So I'm just one step closer to a music minor that I don't even know whether I want or not. Anyways, from the music lessons, I realized, I think I really want to do this. I think maybe a music minor could be cool to say, just might as well. I ended up taking music theory with Professor McGinn, and I was like, this is really cool. So, anyways, I got to pursue a music minor, and that's where I'm at now. Alright, so at my time at AC, I've gotten to do a lot of different kinds of music. I'm going to talk about some of my solo piano music, some of my accompanying music with singers, instrumentalists, and also some of my forehand, which is with another pianist on the same piano, and also two pianos, which is two pianos, pretty self-explanatory there. So I've gotten to use the piano in a lot of different ways that most people maybe would think about, but I didn't coming into this. I didn't expect to be playing solo pieces, accompanying a whole bunch of different people, a whole bunch of different instruments, and definitely did not expect to be playing alongside my professor. That was a crazy thought. Solo piano, so that's not required for the scholarship, but I did solo piano for my applied music, and I've been doing solo piano. That's the only type of piano pieces I was exposed to up until this point, so we'll start with that. I'm going to present Sonata number 7, D major, opus 10, number 3. That can mean nothing to you. That's really the title. But this is one of the most frustrating pieces I've ever had to work with. It kind of still is right now, but I have definitely gotten to appreciate it and love it. And it's the most frustrating, but also one of my favorite pieces to play because I've been playing it for a long time, so it's become repetitive, but it's also become familiar. So I like it now. But when I started off, I started playing this piece 2 years ago with Professor Dominic, and he ripped me apart. This piece humbled me. Now, I've always been decent. I've been good at piano. People have been like, oh, wow, you're really good. Like, okay, whatever. He humbled me really good, and still does to this day, but in the best way possible. I love him for it. I got to a point where I honestly started disliking this piece. I would just not like to practice this piece because it was so difficult, so frustrating. And one thing about Professor Dominic is he focuses on the details, and that's one of his little phrases is you have to focus on the details because that's what takes a piece from average to spectacular. And that has stuck with me. It's a frustrating thought to think about because who wants to focus on the details? Like, I just want to play the piece, I just want to get over it. Not get over it, but I just want to get through the piece. But he makes me dissect every single part. Sometimes measure by measure, sometimes part by part. We analyze the whole thing, we analyze just a tiny thing, and it's just very detailed, which leads to all my frustrations. But over time, I have gotten to appreciate those little things, and that's what makes this piece so special. classical music in general doesn't have a good rap on it, which is fair, because I was also one of those people that did not really like classical music. It's cool, I play the piano, I can play some classical music, a little bit of Mozart, a little Bach, okay, cool. Where's it going? But once you really start looking at all the little intricacies of this piece, it's honestly very interesting. So over time, I've gotten to love this piece. Yeah. Another thing that this piece has taught me is to be okay with being alone. I spent so much time on this piece in particular, and still do spend so much time on this piece in particular. But solo piano in general has made me content with being alone, content with being in that music room alone, away from the craziness of campus, away from the craziness of volleyball, worrying about matches, worrying about exams, worrying about the next social events I have to go to. That is a place with this piece and with all solo pieces in general. That's my escape. That's my escape from the world. So that's why I've come to appreciate solo piano, appreciate the solitude that it brings me, and then also appreciate the little things. So let's get to it. I will be taking this off because it's kind of a shit my movement, and it's hot, so. you guys want to hear the rest of that, I'm playing, that's one movement, there's 4 movements, and I'll be playing that in my senior recital on like May 10th. But there's that one, and I'll play it even better then. So the next thing I'm going to talk about is accompaniment. So I've gotten to accompany, wow, it's weird being in this angle. I've gotten to accompany singers, instrumentalists, like I said before. The first people that I accompanied were singers. So I got to accompany a bass and then also a soprano. And so I got to accompany a person named Bede. She's actually my big in my music fraternity, and we're good friends. She's super cool. We got to work on these arias from an opera called Don Giovanni, and we had, me and Professor McGinn, we had to look at the lyrics for these pieces. And I never really, or at that point, I did not understand why we had to look at the lyrics, because I'm playing the piano. What do you mean I need to learn these words? Like, what's the point of that? But we would spend an entire session looking at these words, and it took me a little bit for me to realize the impact that for me as a pianist, knowing these words, the impact it would have on my playing. So one of the arias was like an agitated mood. The opera in general was just a very dramatic opera. So when I got these words, we would look at them. They're in a different language. I can't remember what language it was, but we would translate it, like at the different translations. He would print me out this translation sheet, and we would go through it one by one. And knowing the lyrics, knowing the meaning of the music, that plays a big role in how I accompany singers and how I play music in general. Go back. So I accompanied singers, and I also accompanied instrumentalists. So I've gotten to accompany viola, a trumpet, and a violin. Today you will hear a little bit of the violin. You can come set up. Something I learned from playing with different instruments. One, I realized I have barely any knowledge on any other instrument besides the piano, and that's kind of sad. But I got to learn more about the violin, viola, all the string instruments, how that works. I also got to learn that from my music history classes that I had to take for my music minor. I also got to learn about the trumpet. I didn't realize how much spit a trumpet produces until I got to the That was eye-opening. It also made me appreciate I don't have it easy with piano, but I definitely think I have it easier. I'm so lucky that I can play any note and it's going to be in tune. I did not realize how difficult that was for basically every other instrument. So, along with appreciating other instruments and other instrumentalists, I also got to appreciate the easy parts about piano, but also the piano is very difficult, so not to devalue that. But yeah, I really enjoyed working with people that I actually really like. So Abby, we're friends outside of music, so that makes things a lot easier, and we've been able to interact and work together. She comes over to my potty, I play on my keyboard, and we practice there, things like that. And I've gotten to meet a lot of people through accompanying with them and kind of create that connection, and it's been really nice. So we're going to perform a piano concerto by Rachmaninoff, and this piece is actually, it's supposed to be a piano solo and then with an entire orchestra. So today, Abby here is going to be the entire orchestra, but it sounds just as good with just piano and the violin. But the interaction that we have in this is very unique, because I'm not accompanying her, which I do with most of my other accompanying pieces, but we really are interacting. So, yeah. Yeah. This is Abby Lee, by the way. She's part of the orchestra here, the ACE orchestra here, so yeah. We'll just present some of that. Yeah, so that's a fun one. We kind of decided to do this. She actually sent me an Instagram reel about this probably last semester. We were gonna try working on it last semester, but things happened in my life, so we didn't end up start working on it until this semester. So that piece was honestly just the past 2 months. We kind of put it together, started playing it at different events. Just going to put the two to the there we go. So we played at 2 events. One was an ASA event, one was Buzz School. We really just did this for fun. So for sure, working with Abby has kind of. I always enjoyed playing for fun, but this for sure has been a lot of fun. No pressure. We mess up. We look at each other. We laugh. We laugh it off. That's just kind of how it happens. Mistakes happen all the time. So it's been super nice to work with Abby, and yeah, that just kind of yeah. So I got into forehand, and the reason why we got into forehand, me and Professor McGinn, is because for the music scholarship, we usually have to wait for singers and instrumentalists, through their vocal teachers or their instrumentalist teachers, to send us music. So instead of us waiting and having like a whole month of not doing anything for the scholarship, we decided to do some forehand. So forehand is 2 people on 1 piano playing basically a duet. There's another student, Laura, and she graduated maybe 2 years ago, but for the 2 years that we were both here, we played probably 3 or 4 forehand pieces, and we got to play a whole bunch of different things. We had some bizet, some like, it's not really simple, but it's a little bit simpler and a little bit more tonal, if it just makes sense. And then we also got to play we played a piece called Slapstick March, and that is a crazy song. We just explored so many different chord qualities, and just, it's a crazy song, and I wish I could play it. I wish she was here so we could play, so I could express that better. But playing forehand opened me up to a different type of piano. Having to work with somebody right next to me, that's very odd. I'm used to having the entire keyboard, so that's something I had to learn. And then playing more modern pieces led me to open my eyes to some very interesting things. We are going to play a piece by Stravinsky, who is a 20th century composer, and he creates incredible pieces. It's going to sound weird. I thought it sounded extremely weird when I first heard it, and you guys might think it's weird, but I think you guys will learn to appreciate it, because after playing with this piece, kind of seeing all of the notes that do make sense, it just made me appreciate a different style of music, and made me get out of my comfort zone. Also had me expect the unexpected. You will not know what's going to happen next in this piece, if that makes sense. I should probably describe it a little bit better than that, but you're going to hear it, and just 2 pianos, and that's very unique. There's a whole bunch of duet pieces where you play side by side, but there's not that many pieces where it requires 2 pianos, so that means that we use a larger range, and that's why we have it on 2 pianos. Anyways, let's get to it. after we've gone through a whole bunch of analysis, he teaches form and analysis, which is another class that I took, part of my music minor. We went through this entire piece and really dissected it, like I do with Professor John too. But it really makes me appreciate pieces that are different, and that's a nice quality to have. Okay, so all the things I talked about, all my involvement and how it contributes to my well-being, I also enjoy helping other people's well-being. I enjoy helping others make sure that they're happy, I'm happy. And also the connections I got to make through music. It's unexpected that I would make so many connections. I've made connections with my professors, made connections with other students, made connections with myself. But all of these things were kind of unexpected, and it's been a very pleasant, experience to have music in my life, and there will be things that I carry in my life that I've learned from music. Keep it, same slide. Music is something that I'm going to keep with for the rest of my life. When I can't practice physical therapy, when I can't play volleyball anymore, which probably getting to that point because it killed me. And when I can't hike and travel as much anymore, I will be able to play piano. There have been studies where people with dementia or people that have cognitive decline, how they can still play piano or still play the instrument. Music occupies that special part of the brain that stays with you forever, and I think that's super fascinating. Music doesn't need to have a meaning. Music can have a meaning. Music is a way of creative freedom, as I like to say. I express a lot of emotions with my music. I have used music as an escape from the rest of the world, from all of my stresses. I've used music as just a place for just me to focus on myself, focus on nothing but music. I think an aspect about music that's super important is sharing it with people. I think music should be a way to spread love. I'm going to use this platform, just kind of my platform here to talk about something that's very passionate to me. There's a lot of things going on in the world, and I'll leave it kind of like that, but I do think it's very important to look at every single human being and treat them with respect, treat them with dignity and kindness. I think everybody should be treated as human, baseline, but with dignity and respect, no matter your race, ethnicity, sexual orientation, gender identity, immigration status, etc. I think those things are very important, and I'm very privileged to be able to go to a liberal arts college, but I know there's a lot of people that don't get this same education, this same ability to speak their mind freely with little to no repercussions. So, yeah. Technically, the presentation is over. I am just going to play one last song. It's called Liebesstrom. It's in German, and it translates to a love's dream, or a dream of love. You guys do not need to stay for it, but if you want, I'm just going to play it. You're free to interpret it however you would like. I just kind of wanted to, what's it called? Sorry, I just lost my train of thought, but I wanted to dedicate it to people that need a little love, need a little appreciation. If you're feeling down about what's going on in the world, just sit back, relax, don't think about anything, take it whatever way you would like to. You also do not need to stay. It's like, also definitely go to the art reception afterwards, the art gallery thing.
her. And again, make sure to join me for the arts reception down the hallway as well. And thank you so much for everyone who's attended the ACSC. It's been a wonderful event, and we're happy to end this fashion. And again, so if there are any questions, I'm sure we're going to be more than happy to.
But thank you guys for coming. I really do appreciate you guys coming out and supporting us.
Great job.
I'll be at the art reception.